they had a school there, and it's an elite institution by the standards of that area, and they're going to have a school trip. And the fellow was a Czech, enlightened guy, and he said, well, it's going to cost $36, something like that, for the trip. And she said, I don't have any money. He said, you don't have any money? You got to pay money, or you can't go on the trip. She said, well, I can't go on the trip, I don't have any money. And it really bothered him, and then he said like this, he said, we're making a special, they had a meeting, and this is under Czechoslovakia. He said, we had a special commission over there, and they decided to give out 3 free trips based on needs. And you'll get one of them. And he said, there's a special thing we're doing for you. You understand? He said, thank you very much. Went to the trip Saturday afternoon. I can't go Saturday afternoon. He said, after all we did for you, I appreciate it. Well, you can't do that with a girl. Yeah? You can't do Saturday afternoon. They had another meeting and this and the other and so forth. And they said, I guess okay, then we'll leave Saturday night. And they left like 11 o'clock at night. The bus left for whatever trip it's supposed to go on. It's not what people think. You understand? Now, on the other hand, the good old Hasidim still lived in the pre-war world, and the national holiday there was Masaryik's birthday, naturally, the president's birthday, and we now have restored into Olenu the part Shehem Yishtachim Lehev Avarik. But it's in parentheses in the siddur. And one of the reasons, not the only reason, but one of the reasons it was taken out of siddur is, in good old days, for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years, whenever you get to Hemitach Avarik, everybody spits on the floor. It's not Baltimore. This is Bardial. This is Bratislava. This is Berlin. This is the old world. And this is Yemen, And, yes, spittoons they never heard of. There's a famous story they tell of a rabbi who came to Baltimore around the early 1900s. I don't know what show it was. I don't want to know. But the point is he was a Gavaldic speaker. But right in the middle, because he was in Russia, he'd say this and this, and right away go, and spit right on the floor. And in Europe, nobody would think anything about it. But Baltimore was already a bunch of Yankees, even though these guys were only off the boat for 6 weeks. And it bothered them. And it started to, it bothered them all like crazy. And they got this thing called a spittoon, this shiny thing. So they put one over here, so they spit over there. And then they got 2 of them, they put over here. And finally he said, look, if you don't take those nice shiny things out of the way, I'm going to spit right into them, I'm warning you. So, they didn't know what it was. And the governor of the district, all those came to the shul. You went to every church on the national holiday to hear a prayer, and you went into the synagogue as well to hear a prayer. And they had a choir, and this and the other, right in the middle of it, and they sang a certain Tehillim, have a prayer for the president. There's nothing wrong with having a prayer for president, especially they really appreciated what they had. I might say that the Munkach Rabbi, for the scholars here, has a sefer in which the Minchas Haloda has a sefer in which he has a bunch of speeches, and one of them, the 2 speeches back to back, one of them is about birthdays, and the second one is about birthdays. In the first one, he's attacking Jews who have birthdays. And he said, this is a terrible custom they picked up from their non-Jewish neighbors. Who in the Bible had a birthday? Paro, Fui, Yom Huledes is Paro, right? And the next speech, this was right in the book, was given by the Rebbe on the occasion of Masterik's birthday, because Munkach had the good fortune to be that tiny little piece of Hungary that was grabbed by Czechoslovakia, so they had it good. And there he said, a birthday is a wonderful thing. Yom Huledes is Paro, even Pharaoh had a birthday. And so there they are, and the governor and all the others in the white sashes, and they pronounce the prayer, and then afterwards somebody gives a clap, and they say, Elena, and everybody goes spit. And people like my mother and all this, they felt, Chol Hashem. That was the world of that time in which she grew up. What you see was, from many aspects, a good upbringing. And a pretty decent one. You ran across a lot of people who were not Jewish, who were decent people. That became a key element in her story, I might say. Now, she ran into a lot of the others as well. Okay? And you either learned to take it and turn the other cheek, or not. My mother had a sister whom she followed. This sister was a few years older, and she went to this secretarial school, so my mother followed her. And this sister got a job in some office in Bratislava, in the big town, where my mother mentioned moved to. It was a nice big commercial firm, and everything was nice. And one of the big customers, or maybe a partner or something like this, walked in one day, and at the top of his voice he says, "Well, I'm glad I see this whole office, there aren't any big noses over here."